Hey everyone, you're tuned in to another episode of Moms versus Aunts. I'm Vanessa Kiki. I'm the mom of the two of us.
And I'm Kiki Monique, the auntie.
Yeah, we are so excited that you guys have been riding with us. We're all the way up to 5 episodes. We've gotten so much great positive feedback from everyone, and keep liking and rating and reviewing us. So yeah, what are we going to talk about this week? What we got?
It was interesting. There were two kind of juxtaposed articles that came out about the same sort of topic that I'm really interested to get into. Dolly Parton did an interview talking about her beauty routine. And, Dolly Parton, she's a national treasure. So it's like, she can do no wrong. And then in the same week, Monique, comedian Monique, also came out. She did I think it was on Instagram, she did a video where she was basically sending a message out to young women. And it was sort of another side of it. And so I want to get into just like our appearance, our beauty appearance, and how, different it is from like the older generations to like the younger generations, and sort of like how it's perceived and that sort of thing. So I'm excited to get into that. And of course, like, we have our own perspective on like,
of course,
what we had growing up and what I think now, which I think has changed dramatically.
Oh my God, totally. Like it's what you think when you're young and what you feel when you start to get a little older. Totally different experiences. All right, cool. And, we'll also have, I'm going to give you guys a cocktail for this week. We have our happy hour. I'll share our hustle of the week, how to make a little extra money. And Kiki always comes strong with a really fun, interesting story for the cool down. So make sure you stick around to the end of the show. But all right, so let me first tell everybody what they're drinking, and then we can get into it. So this week I wanted to do a drink that so I went to a cookout over the weekend, and I drank probably more than I normally would, but I was drinking like some serious, like heavy mixed drinks. And I was like, okay, I need to come with like drinks that are a little lighter that you can drink many of. So I wanted to do a lemon cucumber spritz. It kind of feels like a throwback to when everybody was into cucumber everything. You remember when we went through that phase where we were drinking Pim's cups? This was like forever ago. A Pim's cup, remember that?
Yeah, now that it's summer, I think I actually want to bring that back. Let's go back to that.
We could go back. Well, that's not the drink for today, but we do like a Pim's cup if y'all want to Google it. So this is a lemon cucumber spritz. It's just a great, fizzy, refreshing, summery drink. So you're going to start with 1.5 ounces of Saint Germain. So Saint Germain is the brand. It's elderflower liqueur is what it is. I think everybody kind of knows it by now. You have a bottle of it. It stays in the bar for so long because a little just goes a long way. It is sweet, so you won't need any simple syrup in this drink. And then you're going to squeeze a half a lemon. We love fresh citrus in your glass. I want you to take a cucumber, and you're going to slice like wheels or whatever, to garnish. But take a couple of those wheels first, put them at the bottom of the glass, and then muddle them around so you get like some of the cucumber juice out of there. And then fill it up with some ice and top it with champagne, our very favorite mixer. So 1.5 ounces of Saint Germain, juice of half a lemon, muddle a couple slices of cucumber, and then fill your glass with some ice and top it with champagne. It's so refreshing. You can drink many, many of these outside on a hot day.
Is Saint Germain, is that the purple one?
No, Saint Germain comes in that like tall glass that kind of has glass bottle that has like beveled edges. The top is like a gold. Looks very regal.
Okay. For some reason, I was picturing a purple drink.
A purple drink. Oh, I know what you're thinking of. I think it's like, it's in an aviation. Oh, I can't remember the purple one. Oh, okay. It's going to kill me. I'll try to remember.
But this drink is not purple. It's basically
this drink is not purple. But it is refreshing. If you don't drink your Saint Germain like fast enough, I swear the next time you try to go open it, the bottle is like glued closed. I hate when that happens with like sweet things. You can't
How
get
do
it
you
open.
how do you open, like, when it's like tacky and sticky when sweet stuff is closing?
I just like run it under like warm water and
Oh,
just
okay.
try. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way, you know, with booze bottles.
Okay. So what are you calling this drink again?
So I'm calling it the Lemon Cucumber Spritz. It's very good, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Spritz is like anything that has a little bit of bubbles.
All the elements. Like
all the elements. So you know what it is.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's like I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, and you can drink like
cool.
so many of them. That's the
perfect
thing.
drink for summer. It's like that's what it's about. It's like I need it to feel like I'm drinking water when I'm really not drinking water. It needs to feel refreshing like water.
Right. Eventually what happens is you kind of just start topping the drink off with just more champagne, and it starts to be more champagne and less of the other stuff. But you gave it a good try in the beginning, you know? It's what it is.
No,
it's what it is.
I love it.
All right, I have my drink. You have your drink.
Happy hour time. So let's get into it. So Dolly Parton, she had done an interview for Wall Street Journal magazine. And she said that she doesn't wear sweats at home and that she likes keeping her makeup on at night. And of course, I'm just drawn to like sweats at home. If you're not wearing sweats at home, what are you wearing? I mean, that's pretty much become my indoor, outdoor, everything. She says she has her house clothes, which, okay, then it would very much harken back to like, that's what Southern women say. I got my house clothes. She also calls them her baby clothes. Essentially, she says she wears like a long teddy that's very soft. It has a little matching jacket and shirt to match. And I was like, okay, very regal, very Blanche Devereaux of you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I can get behind that.
Some kitten heels. Throw them on. I love it. I love everything about that. Now, the makeup at night, you know, I remember when I was younger, of course, like thinking like, yeah, like you want to wear makeup at night because you want to be beautiful. And then as you start to learn about skincare, the idea of like keeping makeup on night is like horrifying, right? It's like when you like go out to the bar and pass out, you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have like, you know, styes in my eyes. I'm going to have like breakouts on my face. But again, Dolly is also very, you know, she has this self-deprecating, sarcastic humor. So I never also know when she's being serious because she's like, you know, you never know when there's going to be an earthquake. I can't have my husband looking at me all day like that, you know, so I never know how truthful she is. But, you know, she said she kept her makeup on at night and that, you know, sort of she wakes up in the morning, you know, takes it off, does it all over again, and then just sort of keeps up touch-ups throughout the day. So I thought that was very interesting, super old school, but at the same time, I sort of get it, right? Dolly has this persona of just being glamorous. And so I almost expect nothing less. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but like, it's so weird to me. Like, when does she has to wash it off to start it back over again? Like, you can't just keep makeup on like all day. It doesn't make, and this reminds me of,
she
this
said
is
in the
so
morning.
random.
She said in the mornings.
She washes and then she starts over again. And you know, I'm sure she sleeps on her back. Like, she's not like, she doesn't like sleep on the pillow. So it's not like pushing it into her pores. She probably lays like on her back because it's better for your skin. Because she still looks good.
Well, yeah. And she has those big tatas. So I can't imagine she sleeps on her stomach.
Totally. She probably, she's definitely not sleeping on her side with those boobs. It reminds me of when I was little. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I had this giant poster in we're talking elementary school age. I had a giant poster in my room, and the poster, and I don't know where I got it, and I loved it, and it stayed in my room forever and ever, but it was of Miss Piggy. And it was Miss Piggy on a heart-shaped bed with silk sheets. And she was dressed very much in this like outfit that Dolly has described with like a house coat. Everything was satiny and silky. And she's laying across the bed. And on the nightstand is a picture of Kermit the Frog. And I don't know why, but that was in my room my entire childhood. I don't know if maybe that's psychologically, subconsciously somewhere, but yeah, this idea that was kind of glamorous, like that's what we thought, like the women of a certain age who were glamorous, they did not wear sweats, If they're chilling, laying on their heart-shaped silk bed, they are wearing like a negligee, you know. And she had little kitten heels with a fur like puff thing at the front, like that. That's yeah. So I get it, and that's what I'm visualizing right now is Dolly laying on like a satin bed with makeup on.
And I couldn't imagine her. I couldn't even imagine her in sweats. It would just be so weird. And so it was kind of interesting because then it was like the next day, or maybe it was the day before, but either way, same week, a video came out of Monique where she really just wanted to do a message. You know, she had to go through, I think, Atlanta airport. She was flying to Mississippi for a show. And she just noticed that a lot of young Black women in the airport were wearing bonnets and slippers and pajamas, and they have their blankets wrapped around, the look. We've seen this look at airports, for a while now. And she was essentially just like, look, like, I'm not trying to put you down. This isn't like I'm trying to degrade you. I really want you to just take pride in your presentation. And that's it, leave the bonnets at home, leave the slippers at home, and, just be presentable. And, sort of there was this backlash, right? Of course, Black Twitter, it's like there's two sides. There's people who are like, yes, like, I agree, leave the bonnet at home. But then there were people who were very much like, no, like, this isn't about being presentable. This is about, maybe she has her hair done and she wants to wear a protective bonnet because those airline seats are not forgiving, they're scratchy and gross, and they just want to, have their bonnet protected. My feelings are, look, you know how I feel about the bonnet in public. I do not believe in the bonnet in public. Now, however, I have been known to wear a scarf in a very, cute fashion. And so in that respect, like, I can see myself going out with scarves. Now, slippers, now that's subjective. Now, a full-on, like, I've seen full-on fluffy, like, animal slippers, and, like, no, I don't think that those belong at the airport. But, I mean, I definitely throw on just a flip-flop or a slide, which could also be considered. So, I think she's really, talking about when it's, like, the whole, like, you look like you literally just got out of bed.
Yeah, you just rolled out of bed. Yeah. And I remember a couple years ago, they had, it was such an uproar because, like, there was a school district that sent the same memo home to the parents saying, when you are bringing your kid for drop off, you cannot be dressed like that, like basically in your pajamas. And parents were just like, some people were upset, like, whatever, I'm getting my kid to school. What does it matter what I'm wearing? And they were just like, no, you can't. Like, that's just, and I'm with the, like, just pull it together slightly, just like slightly. You don't have to, again, you can still have your hair up. It doesn't have to be in a bonnet. You can wrap your silk scarf in such a way that it's kind of cute. I don't know what happened, like what happened over the years. Like, I look at, like, my kids' grandparents, when they're going to their doctor's appointments, they are dressed to the nine. And I'm always like, where are you guys going? And they're like, oh, we got a doctor's appointment. I'm like, all of that, like, literally his grandfather will put on, like, alligator boots to go to, which is a whole nother thing, but to go to, like, get an eye exam. Like, if they're walking out the door, if they're going anywhere, they get, like, full on dressed up. They're from that old school where you don't leave your house looking like you look in your house. And even in the house, they still wear, like, house clothes, they got and they refer to it as they house clothes, they house shoes, they house, like, it's house clothes. There's a whole look of it, so yeah, I don't subscribe to kind of looking like you rolled out of bed in public and at the airport. It's weird to me.
It reminded me of, Black AF, Kenya Barris' show on Netflix, which I was actually thinking about today because I was like, where is season 2? And it was actually supposed to come out in April, but I don't see it on there. So maybe it got delayed. But there was the episode of Black AF where they talked about basically peacocking, which was, and he sort of explains in this episode how, peacocking was really instilled into Black people's DNA, because it goes back to when, you know, they had to get dressed up for church specifically for their owners to kind of show them off. But really, it was like this whole idea of Sunday best. And that was like the only way that they were accepted into society was when they were dressed. And so I do think that that whole sort of like peacocking is very much instilled in like our parents and, you know, our grandparents. And now that we've gotten to this place of like, you know, I don't have to appease you. I can wear what I want to wear. Now it's taken a slippery slope though, right? While I don't need to appease you, and like go all above and beyond, nobody needs to be wearing their slippers.
Yeah. Because to me, it always looks like when people are dressed like that, I'm like what happened that you had to like you had to leave in a hurry? Like you didn't even have a chance. Like, was the house on fire? Was like, what happened that you had to get out so fast that you are wearing your slippers and your bonnet, you know? But no, they'll just be casually walking through, you know, through the airport or just like wherever. You know, I mean, and then there's levels, you know, there's the bonnet with the pajamas with sometimes an Uggs, you know, that sometimes people do the Uggs instead of like a full on house shoe. There's levels to it, but it just seems kind of unnecessary because athleisure is such a big like thing now that there's just so many comfortable clothes you can wear that you don't have to legit wear like pajamas and slippers anymore. They've created an entire line of clothes where you can be comfortable and be outside in those clothes. So why? Just why?
I remember seeing this episode of Real Housewives, and I cannot remember which housewife it was. I want to say it was Orange County and it was Heather Dubrow, but I don't know for sure. But I remember one of the housewives was with their daughter. She was packing for a trip, and she had to tell her daughter, she was like, only 2 pairs of leggings. And her daughter was like, just one pair of leggings. And I thought it was really interesting because I was like, like her mom was like, no, you get to wear leggings twice. And then you have to like, you know, wear other clothes the rest of the time. Because I think, you know, in her mind, she's like, leggings are basically like wearing sweats in public. Like you get that. And because I was thinking like, damn, I wear leggings 7 days a week unless it gets switched out for like maybe a sweat.
But don't you feel like we can almost trace back to the like when it started happening? Like if we go all the way back like to when like guys were wearing like FUBU and that NYC brand, or however you pronounced it, ENYC, and it was like the kind of sweatsuits, and then girls were wearing like juicy couture velour sweat. Like I feel like I remember the progression of when we started dressing very comfortably, but it was still supposed to be like in like fashion. Like those clothes were not cheap. Like you were like wearing like a juicy couture like velvet, like, you know, matching coordinating top and bottom, but it wasn't like it was a cheap thing. And I think leggings, it was still kind of like people weren't always wearing leggings, and then people would wear them under a dress maybe, but somehow we've gone all the way with it now. And COVID didn't help because we were just like super comfortable, super cozy, and now we're stepping out of our house, but I don't know that we're willing to let go of the amount of comfort that we've had for the last year and a half.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to streetwear, my mind immediately just goes to juicy. And the thing was, I wasn't even a juicy girl. Like that wasn't even like, because who knows? I don't even know if like that was like in my size. Who knows? Like I never really did juicy, but I still very much associate it with like, yeah, you know, I felt like it went from there and progressed to like just a tighter, because at the end of the day, they just wanted to showcase your juicy booty, right? And so it's like, let's just get a little tighter, a little tighter, a little tighter. Now we just have leggings that straight up have a crack up the bottom, right up, so that your whole booty is just cinched like a corset.
I do own a pair of those. I was curious.
And do you like them?
They're incredible. Like like your booty cheeks are really accentuated. Like each individual cheek is getting its own like shine on. It's insane. And then sometimes I don't wear them all the time, but sometimes when I wear them, I like forget that I'm wearing them. And yeah, they you know, you get more attention when you're wearing them. You forget that your booty cheeks are back there, you know, showing off. So yeah, and they kind of make everybody's booty look really good. So that's why Amazon is selling out of them all the time in all the different colors. And people are making TikTok videos about them. And guys are like completely like know what's going on with those now. And girls are wearing them just like pants. They're just pants. They come in shorts. They come in the long version. Yeah. It has to do with the way the fabric is. Okay. That just, I don't know. And yes, the seam down the crack. But yeah, we've gone all the way with it. Also, it's just really weird that like everything is about the booty now. I was looking at my friend's social page yesterday, and all of her pictures, her back is facing the camera and her head is like looking at the camera from over her shoulder. And I was like, when did that happen too? That like we can't take pictures facing forward. Like it's so bizarre. And then sometimes that makes me feel old. Like I just take my pictures straight on. Like I'm too old. I'm old. That's how you know I'm old, because my pictures are just from the front. like everybody over 35 is taking their pictures straight on. Everybody under 35 is doing the look back at you, you know. I don't know.
Totally. But so this, you know, I love when Twitter comes for celebrities too, because like the whole meme game and just like people are so brilliant on the internet. Like I'm like, I wish I could have thought of that. And my favorite comment to just like the Monique thing was, you know, I don't wear a bonnet to the airport or the grocery store, but I wish someone would tell me what to wear when they don't pay my bills. But on the flip side, Monique did what an auntie would do, which is give you advice you didn't ask for. So like, because it really made me think like, at the end of the day, yeah, like really it's just about like your auntie really telling you those things. And I, you know, I don't think my mom or my auntie would tell me that I was probably being a slob, you know, even if I was, as much as they did when I was a kid. Like I remember, so I had this teacher in 4th grade, and she was, you know, my favorite teacher. And she would see me walking down the halls, and one day she just grabbed me and she was like, come in here. She was like, you walk like a boy. She was like, you need to walk like a lady. And I was like, okay. And so she literally like gave me walking lessons, and she was like, you know, walk like this, walk like this. It didn't really like, it was like funny because like years later, people would always say like, oh my gosh, you got so much switch in your walk.
Yes, you totally do. You
got so much switch. And it was so funny because I realized that as like an 8-year-old, I had been taught how to walk by a 40-year-old Black woman, which is why to this day, I think I have so much switch in my walk. So anyways, that's why like I always appreciated Auntie, because you know what? I walk this way now because of, you know, this amazing teacher Auntie.
That is so funny. I did never know that story. Oh my God, because you do have that's the first thing I noticed about you on campus was, who is that? Why she's got lots of attitude in her walk. You were dressed in all black. I'll never forget. You always wore all black on campus, and you had that switch when you walk. Oh man. Do you remember that teacher's name?
Mrs. Hailstock.
Wow. Thanks, Mrs. Hailstock, because you got a mean walk. The things that my mom didn't teach me how to walk. I remember aunties and moms, like the things I remember, they weren't like today, though. No one had to tell you about bonnets and stuff. My mom was always on me about wearing earrings. I don't know why. I have no idea why. She was always wanted me to, you don't have any earrings on. Like in her mind, I needed to like, first of all, I got Haitians get their babies' ears pierced right away. In Haiti, you actually a lot of times get them pierced at the hospital, like when the baby's born. But I got mine like, you know, very soon after I was born. You wear earrings, like you always have to have on earrings. And I hated wearing earrings. So she was always yelling at me like to put on some earrings. which I thought was weird. My brother would get in trouble for like not having his pants, like, you know, like if they were falling down, because that was when it was starting to be the style of like your pants kind of sagging. I definitely feel like, yeah, they wanted you to be as like girly and ladylike as you could, you know. My grandmother was constantly on me to like, if I looked like, sometimes I would sit there with that dumb look on your face where your mouth is kind of open, and she would just come over and just like tap my chin up and close my mouth, and she was like, she would fix my posture. My shoulders had to be back. She would like physically fix me though. Like my grandmother would like put her arms around to fix my back, sit up straight, shoulders back, close your mouth because flies are gonna fly in there. And I really believed that. Like when has a fly ever flown into anybody's mouth? Never. But I believed that.
Never.
They didn't like me to chew gum. One of our best friends too, she never chews gum. Never. Her mother taught her never to chew gum. Only, you know, like my grandmother had tiny little white Tic Tacs. That's all she ever had. And she would give me a Tic Tac, one. That was what I needed. If I wanted gum, I got a Tic Tac. Because chewing gum is just, you just look like a cow. Like all of those were those were the things that they taught me. They would have been mortified if it was, we're talking about don't chew gum. If I showed up with pajamas and a hair bonnet, they would have just fell out. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely my hair always had to be done. But I was such a girly girl anyways. I was already interested in that stuff. So I also think I didn't have to be told because I already wanted to do it. I think the most was just like the posture, like crossing my legs, or how to cross my legs, or how to keep my legs crossed at the ankle when I sat in a dress. Like, because I definitely think that like sitting in a dress, like to this day, I now have the worst dress sitting posture. It's back to old school, but I know what to do when I'm in, like if I have to like cross my legs, I'll do the thing. But for the most part, you know, I spread out, you know. I think I learned that from being in New York on the subway, you know, guys taking up all the space. So I wanted to take up all the space. So I was like, I'm taking up space.
Back up.
Yeah, back up. But yeah, I think that was like the most, you know, that my mom taught me. I mean, I learned a lot from, you know, I did a lot of sleepovers. I love sleepovers. And my friends always had like, you know, most of them had pretty cool moms. And I remember this one mom in particular. She was definitely like, if you were thinking of Mean Girls, like the cool mom, like she definitely let us, like, I definitely wanted to spend the night at her house the most because we got away with like, you know, inviting boys over and like, you know, all that stuff. And she looked so young. Like, I just remember even as a kid thinking that she was just like so young looking. And I would be like, well, you know, like, what do you do to like look this young? And she was like, all I do every night is I put cocoa butter on my face. And this is a white woman, right? I didn't even know she knew about cocoa butter. Like, I thought that was something that only like me and my family knew. And I was like, really? She's like, that's all I do. So I literally would every night was like putting cocoa butter all over my face. Did that for years and years. Who knows?
Wait,
maybe
really?
it's still why I look the way I do.
You really did cocoa butter on your
did it
face?
forever.
Oh, that feels very clogging-ish, no? Huh.
You know, now that I'm learning more about skincare, and you know, our friend Charlotte, you know, she does the Vaseline, the slugging, and I think it's sort of the same. I think it's really the same thing. Like, as long as I was keeping the moisture in and then putting the you know, I think it's probably in the same. I think a lot of old school remedies are just like
true
now bottled up in $90 bottles.
Yeah, like facts. Because I know my grandmother literally only ever used like oil of Olay every single day. Like, I mean, you talk about sticking with a regimen back then. Whatever your jam was, you just did that for 50 years. And, you know, part of it is genetics and, you know, black don't crack or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, wow. And remind me again, slugging. Slugging is where you use like actual Vaseline, a thin layer of it. You put it on after you moisturize your face.
Yeah, you do your night routine, you put your moisture in, and then, you make sure that, there's moisture, and then you put the Vaseline on, and it's just called
After you
slugging.
moisturize.
After you moisturize, it's, you got to make sure your skin has the moisture in it.
In it.
And then you seal it in with the Vaseline, essentially.
Oh my God. I'm so fascinated. I'm scared to try stuff like that. But whatever.
Oh, I've been doing it, and it's amazing.
So who taught you how to apply makeup? Because your makeup always looks really good. Like, did your mom teach you about makeup stuff? Because my mom doesn't really wear makeup, so I never really learned from her.
My mom loves makeup. She has one of those, like, cabinets that's just like full of makeup. And so we were always playing on makeup. And I don't know if she specifically taught me, but she always like got me all the things. Like, she would, first of all, I had all the magazines. So I was learning from all the YM, all of every magazine I had. And she had every magazine that was more adult, like, maybe the Cosmo or the whatever, Vogue or whatever. She also would buy me, like, back then in the 90s, like, there would be these, like, it was like, I still have it. It's a binder. And it would teach you, remember when they had cool, like, are you a winter? Are you a summer?
Oh,
are you
yes.
spring? And it was a whole binder of, like, if you're this, and it would teach you the different colors you wear. And like, and so she would buy me all of those things. And so I would just play with makeup all day. I mean, I had the Barbie head that you applied makeup on. It was like, like a hairdresser size head. I had all the things. So I was teaching myself
when did
all
you
of that
wear
stuff.
makeup outside of your house?
I don't remember the exact age, but I mean, all of the like Baby Bell glossy pinky stuff I was doing super young because it wasn't like, real makeup. But I mean, I definitely feel like by like 7th grade, I was like doing stuff.
Did your mom let you, or did you have to sneak and like be one of the kids like me who was putting it on like either on the bus or in the bathroom right when you got to school because you didn't want your parents to know that you were wearing makeup? Did your mom actually let you wear makeup in 7th grade?
Yeah. I
had a vanity. I had the whole thing.
Yeah.
Studio lights, those little bulb things. Oh no, I was still sneaking.
Sure.
I wasn't allowed to wear anything beyond like lip gloss until probably like high school. So if I was putting it on, it was like in the bathroom with one of my friends. Like in middle school, I was not allowed to wear makeup. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? How young is well, who knows? Nowadays, they come out the womb and they're wearing makeup. So I don't know. I guess that's a silly, antiquated question. But I just feel like what age can kids start wearing? Plus they also wear makeup in such a different way. Like we were trying to put on a little shadow, these girls are full on contouring their faces.
But it's like, but is this these restrictions, like we place them on girls, but do boys have like these sorts of restrictions? Like, are there things that like they're not allowed to do when they're in 7th grade? I mean,
no.
So it seems, I think that's why it's antiquated, because it's like, well, why can I not do this? Like when they're just over there doing whatever they want to do.
Facts. Yeah, they just get haircuts and that's about it. My stepson begged and begged and begged for an earring, which he was allowed to get when he turned 13. So he did get, he has an earring because he's 13 now. He'll be 14 soon. Nice. And I think that was it. I mean, as far as like they let him have whatever freedom he wants with his hair. Like he can have a faux hawk one day. He can have like lines in his hair. They let him do whatever he wants creatively with his haircuts. The earring was the only like thing that he wanted. He keeps talking about a tattoo and nobody's listening to him. But I feel like those are the only two things that he's tried to like push the boundaries on, was getting the earring and getting like a tattoo.
I would try to push the boundaries, now that you say that. I would try to push the boundaries sometimes on hairstyles. And I definitely wouldn't get my way on like a lot of the hairstyles, but I did have an asymmetrical at one point. So
hey, very salt and pepper of you.
Oh, very, very.
Oh man, trying to do your hair by yourself when you're a kid and you're a black girl and you're doing way too much and putting all that heat on it. Ugh, I used to try to do the thing where you curled your your bangs kind of backwards and forwards and make it like fluffy. And it was just bad. It was so bad. I might have to post some pictures of my middle school hairstyles. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, French braid was always the best.
So we asked some of you what your moms, aunties, whomever, what they were trying to tell you what to do when you were a kid for beauty. And here's what you had to say.
Hey, Vanessa and Kiki. This is Jean calling from Bed-Stuy. And one thing that my grandmother used to make my sister and I do is walk around the house with a big giant Webster's dictionary on our heads to improve our posture. Love the show. Keep up the good work.
Hey, moms and aunties. I got a story about my grandma. So my grandma's kind of like an auntie in that she's free-spirited and a little bit crazy. When I was younger, I had rosacea, and I remember my grandma used to bring me outside in the morning when there was still dew out on all the leaves and grass. She would take a Q-tip, she would get spider webs, and she would put them on my cheeks because she said this would cure rosacea. That is some pure grandma shit that my mom would probably not allowed.
Vanessa, it's time to make some money. What is our hustle of the week?
All right, guys. So this is my weekly installment of how you can make a little extra money. We call it the hustle of the week. And this week, I decided to kind of tell you guys all about how you can level up and make some money by learning a new skill. So this is all about online certifications that you can take and you can make a little bit of extra money. So I started looking around and noticing that there were all of these things that were talking about how you could make side hustles helping small businesses, like with their online presence. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Fine. But like, as I was like digging deeper, I realized that like what they really need is help in getting visibility online, help in like differentiating their business from other businesses online. And as you really start to peel back the layers, what you really need is someone who understands like AdWords and how Google works and how Facebook works. So if you go on to skillshop.withgoogle.com, you can become certified in Google Ads, and it's free, which is like incredible. I didn't realize this. It is free. It is ranked. They have their certifications are ranked beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And all of the 6 certifications that fall under Google Ads certified are all beginner. And they're only about 3 to 4 hours each. They're all free, and they break them out in terms of shopping, video, apps, search, and display. So all of the different ways that you would, use Google Ads to market your business. After you get certified, you can go online and post yourself on Upwork, which is really popular. Also Fiverr, which by the way is spelled Fiverr. There's also Flex Jobs. These are just like the 3 probably biggest ones that people go on. And, there's people making a range of money, but I would say like right in the middle, like literally around like $50 an hour. You can make some really good money. Just list yourself as either like a virtual assistant. If you use this certification and bundle it with some other skills that you might have, let's say you're really good at just creating a social media page, like I am not. I have like one follower. Please follow me. But there are people out there who just really understand how social channels work. So you can help small businesses with that. And this is just another way that you can add value to that skill, and you can help small businesses and they'll pay you. It's a good side hustle. So that's the first one.
I don't think I ever told you this, because clearly I hadn't, but I did that.
You did.
I
Get
did.
out.
I became Google Ads certified because
No way.
there was a time when, we had a lot of time on our hands.
Get
And
out.
I did that. I never then went any further with it, but I am Google Ads certified. Just fun.
Wait. This is amazing. This is so funny because I don't think people know that, like, I don't necessarily share with you what the hustle of the week is. You learn it as we're talking on the podcast, and you don't really share with me the cool down. And we do that so we can be surprised, which I am right now. So wait. Now I want to talk more about this one. I was going to go to the next one, but since you took it and you have experience, were the classes really 3 to 4 hours each? Did you feel like you learned a lot? Like,
I mean, I felt like I did learn a lot. And if I had then gotten jobs through it, like if I had taken it the next step and like put myself out there, I would have like learned a lot more. I really felt like I was using it. I wanted to use it, like you said, in a bundle. Like I am good on social. I am good at branding. And so I just wanted to have this extra skill set. And like, not only can I help you build it, I can also help you push it out. And it was also, for me, it was just way more education and learning like how Google like works in general. Like, and like, I didn't realize a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that was happening and how it was working. And that was way more intriguing to me. So it was like, even if I'm not using it as a skill set, just having the knowledge of how it works makes me think about the things differently, which is cool.
Yeah, my understanding is like, if you want to market yourself as a virtual assistant or you want to market yourself to help small businesses, like having this certification definitely helps like move you to the top of the list. And also this helps inform people who are trying to do like YouTube pages and things like that, because YouTube and Google, they go together. So this also helps you if you're trying to monetize a YouTube channel. So it seems like I kind of feel like I'm just going to do it because now you've really made me want to do it. Just to kind of know how it all really works is, and it's free. It's free.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. All right, we'll talk more offline about that one. Okay, so the next one is becoming a nutrition coach or a lifestyle coach. So this is different than like a dietitian or an actual nutritionist who goes to school. This is a certification that you can get through Coursera. So Coursera is like an online platform with tons of different online classes, like literally like thousands and thousands. And it's a platform used by different universities. So Stanford offers this intro to food and health. They also offer one that's cooking for children and nutrition for children. And so as a nutrition coach, not a nutritionist, you can make starting $50 to $75 per session. More experienced nutrition coaches make like $100 to $200 per session. And you can also sell like packages. And so what your role really is like, just to kind of like be someone's like, kind of like their friend, but also help them with meal planning and like you real, like having a trainer and having a nutritionist that costs a lot of money. A lot of people can't afford that, but maybe you're just, they just want a little guidance. They want someone that they can check in with. They want someone who's holding them accountable. I mean, this would have been a job that was really great.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is this rebranded as the accountability coach?
Right. So it's like another skill set that you can have in terms of being like a lifestyle coach, an accountability coach. You can take these nutrition classes because a lot of times what people are looking for isn't just all of the other stuff. They need help with like their food choices, and they just want someone to be like, look, what's my meal plan for this week? These are the goals that I have. And, it doesn't cost them as much to have like a licensed dietitian, but also it's good extra money for you. So they offer this class. It's online. I believe it's like a 4-week class. Again, totally free. And you can go on Coursera.org. Course like COURSERA.org. There's tons of classes on there. But I think that would be cool if you're that kind of, if you have that personality, you're almost just being like someone's like homegirl, but you're getting paid.
Well, it sounds like, I know you don't watch Real Housewives, but on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Teddy Mellencamp, who's John Cougar Mellencamp's daughter, she is an accountability coach. And it sounds a lot like what she does.
And she probably took this class.
That's what I was thinking. I'm wondering if she took this class. That's how she got certified.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. The other one this was so funny. A good friend of ours was telling me a story about how she met this guy and they spent the night together, and the next morning he was up early and she was like, why is he up so early? And she could overhear him, and he was teaching English to like a child abroad. And I was like, of course I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. He teaches English and whatever. But it's also a good like side hustle. And I also realized why he was up so early. So you can get money by teaching English online. Again, Coursera offers a course. Future Learn offers a course. These are free classes. I think the most popular service that provides English teaching is a company called VIP Kid, I believe. And I saw a lot with them. So these people make, average about $20 an hour. You can make up to like $23 an hour. If you do, let's say $20 an hour, 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, that's an extra $640 a month. And we're just talking about a couple hours a day. Now, how you make more money is a huge percentage. They said like 70 to 80% of the students in this particular platform, VIP Kid, are children in China. And so because of the time zone difference, if you can wake up early to be able to teach these children, like when they're not up super early, you can make more money. So you have to kind of be on their time, which is probably why he was up so early, like teaching English over the phone with his student. But there are people.
But that will make you fall in love with the guy. I mean, come on, he wakes up and he's teaching kids English. I mean,
it sounded so. I was like, oh, that was the first thing out of my. Oh, like as if he was doing it like just out of the goodness of his heart. I'm sure it was like a side hustle, but like, whatever.
It also feels very, there's something about Mary where it's like you hear him through the door and you think that's what he's doing, but he's really just over there like pretending just to like make you fall in love with him. Either way it works.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways that you can get paid more and more. And then there's obviously people online who are talking about how they make like $4,000 a month doing it. And I'm like, with any of these side hustles, you can make them more, I guess, prominent, less side. But I'm just using the equation of if you did it for 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. If you want to do it more, obviously you can make more. But yeah, teaching English, and it's an easy certification. The Future for Learn course is 4 weeks, but it's only 5 hours per week of work.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's other ones that truncate it so you can get certified much more quickly. Again, there's tons of certifications online. And then the last one I have is like an oldie but goodie that I realized that there was some actual money in it. So I met this woman over the weekend, and she was like working on her bio, and she needed it to be like 50 words. And she was including like to me, it was way too much information. And so I said to her, I was like, do you really need to include like that you're a notary? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, okay, all right. She was asking me to look at it, but I was just kind of like, a notary, like, who cares? And like every time I have to get something notarized, like they charge me, I want to say anywhere from $2 to $5. So I've always wondered, like, why are people doing this? It's just $2. Like, why? But it's not just $2. So apparently, and you can go in your state, like every state has like, there's like a notary information site for every state is kind of different. But generally speaking, it's about $100. The course is anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. And notaries actually, they make more than $2 or $5. If you are doing loan signings, particularly for like real estate transactions, you can make $75 to $200 per signing, which is like you just showing up and making sure, like, you know, these folks have their ID. I mean, you know what a notary is. I don't have to tell you.
I was a notary.
Girl, you were all of these side hustles. Let me find out.
You know me. I have a lot of jobs. And that's the thing. Like, I know that they offer these courses, but I will say I got my notary. I did it all. I did it all myself. Like, when I did it in Virginia and I did it in New York. You just take a quick little test. It's not that hard. They have the courses, they have the books you can buy. I don't think you need it. Maybe some states are harder than others, but you don't always need it. As long as you're smart and you can just like read stuff online, you
probably don't even need. So the 3 to 6 hour course is like you might not even need to take it.
I don't think you need the course. I think you can look it up online and say like, here it is. You can find what you need to study, and I found everything I needed to study online, and it was fine.
Oh my God, I love this. I love that you've done all of these jobs. Well, and then there's like a little niche kind of, you're going to know this, but also you can turn those $2 and $5 notary signings into like real money if you advertise yourself as a mobile notary.
Oh yeah.
So if you're willing to go to someone's house or go to their office or go wherever, because that's the annoying part. Sometimes you have to have something, some stupid document that you need to have notarized, and you're just so annoyed and you're trying to find one in your area, whatever. If you are a mobile notary, you can charge an extra $50 to $100 because you're going to wherever these people are. And so that's how you turn a $5 project into $100, just like that. It's convenient for the person. And I'll tell you, I had to get some documents notarized a couple of years ago, and they were for a relative who had a stroke, and so he wasn't mobile. And I was like, well, but he's got to sign these, but I don't need him trying to, like have to get up and down the stairs and go like literally around the corner. It felt like it was close, but it's not close if you are in quarantine, or if you are, not feeling well, or you just can't move. So a mobile notary is a great way for you to advertise yourself. Again, you rank higher up on the algorithm because you're willing to go to people and you can make extra money. But I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
No, I had to use a mobile notary for my bosses because, trying to get I had 4 bosses. Trying to get 4 bosses to notarize something for the bank, that was never going to happen. I just had the person come, to the office and do it for them. But also during lockdown, I discovered, the online notary. Mm-hmm. Now it's like so super easy. There's like a whole service where it's like you just like, literally put your, license, mm-hmm. you have your face, you have a video conference with a person. And, I think I had a guy in Florida. It just depends on mm-hmm. who picks up. So
mm-hmm. I did see that they had online notary. It's not available in every single state, but check your state. If your state allows it, that is like, you could do mobile, you could do online, and those are ways that you can 100% make a little bit of extra money doing it. But anyways, that wraps up today's hustle of the week. These are some easy, free online certifications that you can get and make a little bit of extra money on the side. We will be right back with Kiki's Cool Down.
Oh my God, I think you're going to love this story, Vanessa. It's kind of crazy. So this woman in Michigan was walking. She was in her neighborhood. She thinks she was right in front of her house, but she was on the sidewalk. She was just like walking up and down the street on the phone. A woman approaches her and says, you know, do you think you can get off your phone or you could talk lower? And the woman just basically said, get out of my face. And then all of a sudden, 3 minutes later, police show up and they're just like, you know, you're talking too loud on your phone. And basically, she gets fined with a $385 ticket for talking too loud on the sidewalk. They considered
Wait
it
a minute.
nuisance.
She was outside?
$385.
But she was outside in the world? Like she was outside
on her phone.
But I don't understand how you can get fined if you're outside.
She was on the sidewalk in front of her house.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That can't be legal.
It was a public nuisance, I think.
Oh, they said she was causing a nuisance?
Is the charge.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Can I ask? I really have. I don't know if I can ask these questions. Where did these people live?
Well, so that's okay. So that's the second part of the story. So the reason it made the news is because the woman on the phone was a black woman and the woman who approached her was a white woman. And so she is saying that the reason she was approached was because she was a black woman. Mm-hmm. So I looked at the video. You know how news stories do. They do the B-roll and all that stuff. Now, I was absolutely like, this is crazy. You're on your phone. Like, why is that a nuisance? As they're doing the B-roll, though, I will say this. She's walking down the sidewalk and she has her phone like this, like held out her like she's on a speakerphone. So in that instance, I was like, this is probably how she always talks on the phone. Because I know that's how I don't talk on the phone, like hold it to my ear anymore. Those days are long gone. I have AirPods in, earphones in, or I'm speaker in my house because I don't want anything on my face. I think if she was on her speakerphone, though, walking down the street, because look, we've all been there. We've all been there where that person is like next to us and they're just screaming into a phone and you're just like, shut up. Now, does that warrant a call to the police? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
But we have all wanted to like punch that person, tell them to shut up because it's really obnoxious, right? I mean... I don't know how to feel about this. It could go like either way, right? Because,
okay, Karen obviously took it too far because she called the police, right? Like always. Why you always would? It's like 911 is not necessary. But I will say that like I know a friend of ours made me laugh because she had a neighbor who would get up really early and do like workouts, like with like video workouts with her clients outside and, and would be like loud, like again, it's on a speakerphone video situation. So she's outside, she's doing like planks or whatever. And she's speaking in a voice to help motivate the people who are taking her class or whatever, but they're early morning classes. So you're kind of like, everybody's not awake and everybody doesn't want to hear your class. And so again, not a 911 situation. I have a guy that lives in my building and he is a former NYPD detective. And I don't know what it is about him. He gets up every day at 4:30. He goes and sits in his car, which my apartment faces the street. So he sits in his car right in front of the building and he blasts music all morning until about 8:30. So between 4:30 and 8:30, and it's not like soft music. It is like 80s disco. It's like, it's so for real. It's so loud. It's Jay-Z and then it's Michael Jackson. And then the thing is I kind of like the playlist. It's like shit I would listen to, but just not at 4:30 in the morning. And there's nothing I can do about it. Like I'm not calling the police on him, but he does this every single day. So, I get it. Sometimes people are causing a nuisance, but unless you live in a private gated community that has like agreed upon rules about stuff, I'm also, yes, she might have been annoying. No, don't call the police. Those are kind of, I'm on both sides of it.
At least in New York, you have 311. Now 311, I say in my instances where I've had to use it was completely useless. So I won't say that it was helpful. I will say at least it was an option. Cause like, calling the police is never ever the answer when it's something that's just annoying. Like, let's just make that very clear. But let's also make it clear that, like, if you are an annoying person, maybe be more respectful of your surroundings. Like, again, I don't know if this woman was on her speakerphone. I can only go from the B-roll footage and how they were videotaping her walking down the sidewalk and she was holding it out to hear. And, you know, who knows? Maybe she had her earpods in. I don't know.
But see, sadly, she's never going to get the memo that she's annoying because Karen called the police on her. Now she's just like telling, like, now the narrative is that, like, this woman called the police on her and how she called the police on, and she's all pissed off about it and did it. And I was just trying to, and did it. So she's never going to actually get that there should have been a better way, but you know, maybe the messenger, I don't know. She's never going to know. She's never going to
know. And that's the thing. Like, she fully admits that when she said, like, you know, she said, would you mind, you know, talking quieter or, you know, getting off your phone? She did say, like, why don't you get out of my face? So, like, also, she could have approached her response. Like, if somebody comes up to you and you were like, and they said to me, like, I'm sorry, you're being a little loud. Like, I'm probably going to have an attitude, right? Because it's like, get out of my face. But I might at least take stock and, like, okay, am I in public? Am I being annoying? You know, like, you know, there's always three, like Judge Judy said, there's always three sides to a story. Her side, his side, and the truth, right? Because, like,
it's so true. And I don't really know, like, I'm wrapping I'm super diplomatic with uncomfortable situations, but I actually don't know what the, what's the best way to approach a person who's being really loud and obnoxious. Like, to me, I don't know that there is, like, what could you say to someone that wouldn't trigger them being like, you need to just shut, like, mind your business.
Look, I've seen it happen. And when, you know, we have a common friend and this friend, we were at a place, we were at Soho House. You know, Soho House is a membership club. You know, you aren't really you're not even supposed to be on your phone. So it's already like a quieter area, right? But this person was having a meeting there and they had like 5 people there. And she was talking to the 5 people at the table just very loudly. When it was just felt like aggressively loud for no reason, because it was like we're all 5 here. There's no extra external noise, like, and we were just trying to, like, work, and it just was like, you know. And so our friend went up and just, I don't know exactly what she said, but she just told her to, like, pipe down.
Oh my God.
And so, you know, she did pipe down, but, you know, was she happy about it? I don't know. Like, she couldn't make a scene because, again, this is like a private membership club. So she probably wasn't.
And then did she tell her to pipe down in front of the other 5 people that she was having?
Yeah, I mean, she had to. She had to walk up to the table and just be like, you know, your voice is carrying or something of those, along those lines. I don't know.
Oh, I love us.
Oh, God.
That's a good one. I like that one. Yeah, I still don't know the best way to handle that, but I know I don't know what like, literally I know what friend you're talking about without even knowing what friend you're talking about, because she's so good at that sort of stuff, and I can totally see her doing that. I would be too nervous to. I still listen. I get woken up at 4:30 in the morning every day. I'm literally the property manager for the building. I could tell this man to stop doing this, but I'm so nervous to like be like, turn your shit down, dude. People are sleeping.
This is why when I'm in public, for the most part, if I'm by myself, I have headphones in. At the end of the day, like, if I'm in my own world, minding my own business, then most people can't bother me. And so that's been the solution, is just keep your headphones in and keep your looking forward and mind your business.
And it's only going to get worse. Like, literally, we want everybody to just, I want you to stay 6 feet away from me, back the F up. I really don't want to experience people unless I have to, because I've gotten so used to not for the last year that, like, it's going to get worse. Or we're just going to be like, like, I can't imagine going to it. I mean, I went to Coachella when Beyonce performed, and I was right up next to people singing the Black National Anthem, like hugging strangers and having such a good time. And now I just can't imagine being tightly packed at a concert ever again. like, ugh, no, don't touch me. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get worse.
The arc of the lockdown is funny to me because it was like, it got to a point like, you know, a quarter of the way in where we were so starved for social interaction, right? And we were reaching out and we were doing things. More people were going on IG lives than ever before, any sort of human connection. And now we've reached the other side of this arc. We were like, stay away from me. I don't want you near me. Do not touch me. So yeah, we've just completed the full arc. So here we are. But
like, I'm good.
Hey, we'll see what happens. So much fun today, and can't wait to do it again next week. And also can't wait to do it again on Wednesday. And if you know what Wednesday is, it's our Clubhouse day. If you aren't following us on Clubhouse, go do that. At the Talk of Shame for me, Kiki Monique, and at Vanessa Kantad for Vanessa. And we just like to do like a little like midweek happy hour to kind of keep the conversation going. So follow us there. And of course, you know, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, you know, those places. We like you to follow us everywhere.
And make sure you guys follow us to, on our stories is where we post what we're going to be talking about on upcoming episodes. So you can make sure you leave us a voicemail if you know, hopefully we'll play your message on an upcoming episode.
Can't wait to see you next week. Till then.
I know. It's like my favorite part of the week. All right. Bye.
Moms vs. Aunts is brought to you by CafeMom. Our theme music is composed by Coney Island Music. We want to hear from you. To give us your comments, leave us a voicemail at 929-265-0277, and we might include them in the show. You can also reach us by email at momsvaunts@gmail.com. Remember to rate, review, and follow Moms vs. Aunts wherever you get your podcasts. And for more parenting stories, real talk, and entertainment news, go to cafemom.com.